Shalom, Israel. So today we're going to look at Daniel chapter 7 and verse 25. It says, and he, well, the he here is not talking about an individual, but a kingdom of people. He shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. No keyword. Why does it say think? Because in order for you to change time, what do you have to change? The ordinance of the sun and of the moon, or the constellations. Right? Now, in order for you to understand what they changed it to, it's important for you to know what it was changed from. Alright? So, when you deal with time and location and everything, to know, the first thing you need to know is directions. Right? So, to find your east, you use the rising of the sun, which would be this side. Let me make sure that it's on the board. Okay, too wide. It's there. East. Right? Now, if you're facing the rising of the sun, then directly behind you would be the west. Right? Now, if you're standing with the rising of the sun on your right hand and the setting of the sun is on your left, what direction would you be facing? Think about it. If you're standing with the rising of the sun on your right hand, the setting of the sun would be on your left hand, that would be west. The direction that you would be facing would be north, right? And what is behind you would be considered south. Now, here is the problem. I'm doing this vertically, so it's going to appear as if north is on top and south is at the bottom. But what if I was to set this horizontally and place my camera above? You would see that it's all horizontal. So people do argue that the shape of the earth may be flat, or it may be round like a ball, like an object, like a ball, right? Now, what if I should take the same information here, north, south, east, west, right? And place it on top of this flat object. What would happen? You would realize that east, west, south, and north are all on one level. If I take the same object here and place it here, what would happen? East would be here, west would be here, south would appear under here, and north would appear on top. So this is part of what they changed, right? They took the map, placed it on a round object like that. Now, the question is, wherever you are, right? Because if north is on a round object like this, up here, let me use this. If I'm here west, let me also mark it. I'm here in Jamaica. Let's say one of the countries in the north, let's say I want to go to England. Let's say it's a walking distance. England is here. I am here at my thumb. If I'm going to head towards England, I would have to be walking horizontally. I would not be walking upwards. Also, if north was like this on top of a surface, what would happen? I would have to look up to find north. But if you stand with your right hand towards the sunrise, the left hand towards the sunset, the direction where your face is towards is the north, not upwards. Right? So we just need to understand this part first. Now, another thing. Let me just okay, another thing about this is that this using the sun gives you the directions of the earth itself, but the location that you are at has its own east, west, north, and south. For example, I am in the west side of Jamaica, but people in this side, like Kingston and so forth, they would be on the east side of Jamaica. People in St. Elizabeth and so forth, they would be on the south side of Jamaica. And people like in Ocho Rios and so forth would be on the north coast, right? So you have this here for your region, and you have this for the, Earth itself, right? Now, let's just erase this. The problem now with timing is, let's just jump to John, the book of John, chapter 9, verse 11. See, there's always some truth to their lies. It says, no, it's not that. Go to chapter 11 and verse 9. Hold on. Oh, yes. Chapter 11 and verse 9. Jesus answered, "Are there not 12 hours in the day?" Right. So it's the same thing we read in Genesis chapter 1. It says, verse 5, "And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night, and the evening and the morning were the first day." Right? So if there are 12 hours in a day, 12 hours in a day, right? 6 of it would go to morning, and the other 6 would go to evening, and that makes a complete day. Now what they do is this. London calls itself the zero balance of timing, right? So, and they give you some imaginary lines. They say this line here, 30 degrees, 60, 90, what's that, 120, 150, and 180. This is the problem, right? Because they call here 180 degrees, and here they call 0. This is why the time is backwards, right? Because every 15 degree would be 1 hour. 1 hour, this is where you get the 12 hour. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. And between them would be, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. So 15 degrees would make 1 hour, and so forth. But this is the problem. When you get here, let me just work with this. Let me just work with this. Remember, we're dealing with it horizontally, so it's not, I have to do it vertical for now, but you should have it down on your paper, so you're looking at it from above. The problem is, when you get to here, the date changes to the date that is around here. So what is that telling you? Where they have the 0 degrees, it should be around here. So when the 0 is here, that would be the bridge between day and night. And it's the same thing here. So once you start going eastward, it would be the 1st hour, 2nd hour, 3rd hour, 4th hour, 5th hour, and 6th hour here in the center, right? Continue, that would be midday, 7 hour, 8 hour, 9 hour, 10 hour, 11 hour, 12 hour, and you're back to the 0 point, right? But when they have the 0 inside here, that is where it's a problem, because it's no longer really dealing with the sun. Why did they change this? Because they developed from traveling by horses and so forth, so now they developed things that would move faster. So they needed a universal time, and that's why they changed it, right? But however, like I said, the 0 point would have to be here where they have the 180. If you go this way on it, you're going backwards. So this would be the same, and then you get the 12 hours out here. They have their lines. But because everything revolves around here in London, that is the problem. right? What if we were using hourglass? Guess what? Whenever time you see dawn in your area, that would be the time you're working on. So this is one concept that they change about time and give us this imaginary thing. But like I said, because there's a truth at every lie, they are correct with the 12 units because it says 12 hours in a day and they calculate it to the 15 degrees, right? But where they put this is a problem. And the next thing now, dealing with the circular form of the earth, because people argue that if the earth is flat or if the earth is round, but no one ever has ever talked about an object can be both flat and round at the same time, like a disc, right? It's flat and it's round. So this is why when you get here, it comes back around here. How does this appear on the map? For example, here you have Canada, right? But then right here you have Russia. Russia is just right around from Canada, but Canada is in North America, right? And they're in a different time zone. Russia is over there and they're in the Eastern time zone. But it's not that far from each other. So what is it telling you? The earth is round in this sense, right? But not round like this, right? Then I'm going to deal with also the north and the south pole. So let me just make that in another video.